I am a gamer. No matter how much I wish I could tear that label off of myself like a PCP enjoyer tears their skin off of their body while having the best high of their life, I can't. It's far too late for that. I played video games as a child. We all did. I had my Game Boy Advance with all of my Pokemon and Mario pixels to keep me preoccupied while my dad cheated on my mom. But that's all those were. Short-term time sinks, like dangling keys in front of a baby's face. When I say I'm a gamer, I mean my life was over before it started, destined to a continuous cycle of perpetual nothing. I believe there's a turning point. A point where a young child makes a crucial decision. The decision to pursue a life of social flourishment, the act of procuring life accomplishments and experiences like they were flowers to be plucked in the Garden of Eden, or they could choose the life of a gamer, making that pointless virtual time sink their sole driving factor in life. Every second of every hour, every pixel of every model, carrying the weight of a lifetime of wasted potential, forcefully trying to make up for every lost experience or lack of social ability with one virtual cope or another. I remember my exact turning point, the point of no return. It was a summer night in 2008. The Great Recession was in full effect, and my dad was still cheating on my mom. I had ironically spent the entire day outside in the cul-de-sac playing kickball and riding bicycles, making actual real-life memories that a human being needs to function in the long term. We had an Xbox 360 console that my dad would use mainly when he wasn't having sex with other women that weren't my mom. I had played a few different games on it. I was too non-functional to understand what I was doing, but that night I made the conscious decision that I would pick up that controller and play a game for myself, like the alien creature picking up the ring in the first 5 minutes of that film series I couldn't give any less of a fuck about. If I could go back in time, I would hand that unassuming child a weapon or some substance, because God knows he would be better off with one of those. The game I ended up choosing was the Orange Box, and opening the metaphorical peanut shell, the protein-filled nut I was consuming was Team Fortress 2. The cartoonish graphics and Disney-esque lighting grabbed me by my shirt collar like a school bully should have been doing, and it sucked me into my demise. I played all night, and all next day, and the next day, and then I found out it was on the computer, so I downloaded it on the family PC, and before I knew it, I wasn't going to 8th grade formal because the new Man vs. Machine update just dropped. I wasn't going to parties because the new ranked season of League of Legends was starting. Well, also, I was never invited to anything because I'm entirely insufferable, but that's besides the point. And I wasn't attending my own graduation because why would I need to? I've got all of my actual achievements lined up right here in this Steam window. I didn't understand it at the time, but I had opted out of existence. I had left the Be a Human box unchecked. It was so easy to make new friends on Steam because they were all just as retarded and dysfunctional as me.
I know what's going on. You're projecting because you're jealous of how fucking smarter I am than you. Like, I'm just such
I really could care less if you were smarter than a freaking third-year-old.
And we all had a common interest of being functionally worthless. So why would I expend energy at a place that I hated to step out of my comfort zone to make friends when I could just make non-existent relationships on trade_minecraft_neon_b2.1
and a disco floor for all of your partying needs.
It was perfect, but no matter how many giant robots you were able to backstab, reality is invulnerable. Anyone with any semblance of a conscience will eventually hit the wall where they come to the realization that their life of childhood hijinks is over, and the transition into alcoholism and suicide procrastination is upon you. Now, this transition can be easier depending on how willing you are to let go of that part of yourself, and people who spend their entire teenage and young adult lives already engrossed in the real world will typically have a substantially easier time doing this. But for every average burnout, there's at least 100 gamers who are being hit by the train that is real life. When it's time for their first job interview, they will be shocked to hear that moderating a Discord server does not count to management experience. When they're on their first date, they will not be aware that women even exist. And on their deathbed, they will be dumbfounded when they find out there's no respawn timer. It comes from a lifetime of absent real-world experiences that make you truly realize how empty of a human you are. Many gamers will try their last hand at intelligence maxing to squeeze out some semblance of worth, but it's only a matter of time until you realize that that is just as worthless as your ability to wave dash L cancel. At this point, the next course of action is one of two things. You either find a cope that will provide the highest amount of artificial fulfillment, things like music, material possessions, drugs, or you finally adjust that suicide date to its proper window. And if that seems scary, it's because it is. But there's a way around it. There's a way to escape this dungeon. Stop playing video games. I know that seems like a tall order, but take it from someone who is past the point of being an NPC and is now a pixelated shadow outside of the playable area of the map. Pick up a hobby. Force yourself outside. Do anything else. You won't regret it. Just remember to always... Hold on, I just got another pixelated material possession to delude myself into continuing to exist.